What happens to your brain if you train using HRV data for 30 days? She stared at her watch for the third time that morning, heart still racing from yesterday's run. Something felt wrong, but she couldn't explain why. Most mornings started the same way: coffee, lace up, push through. But lately every workout felt like fighting gravity. Her body whispered something her mind refused to hear. She'd heard about heart rate variability training from a friend who swore it changed everything. At first it sounded like another wellness trend, numbers on a screen pretending to know your body better than you do. But what happened next changed everything. Heart rate variability, or HRV, measures the tiny fluctuations in time between each heartbeat. It sounds technical, but it's actually your body's most honest conversation with itself. Stress, recovery, readiness, all encoded in milliseconds. When your nervous system is balanced, those intervals vary more. When you're stressed, overworked, or overtrained, they become rigid. Your heart literally loses its rhythm. She downloaded an app that night, skeptical but curious. The next morning, she pressed her finger to her phone's camera and watched the numbers flicker on screen. The reading was lower than she expected, much lower. For years, she thought rest days were weakness, that pushing through exhaustion meant discipline, that pain was just the price of progress. Her HRV told a different story. Her body had been screaming, and she'd been turning up the volume to drown it out. Researchers at Stanford found something similar. When routine meets meaning, consistency finally sticks. But without feedback, we guess. And guessing in fitness often means grinding until something breaks. She decided to trust the data for 30 days. If her HRV was high, she'd train hard. If it dropped, she'd recover. No guilt, no negotiation. The first week felt like defeat. 3 days in a row, her watch said rest. She felt fine, energized even, but the numbers didn't lie. Part of her still doubted it could work. What if she was just making excuses? What if this was the exact moment she needed to push harder? She rested anyway, walked instead of ran, stretched instead of lifted. It felt like surrender. But on day 4, something shifted. Her HRV spiked higher than it had been in weeks. That morning's workout felt effortless, lighter, faster, stronger. Not because she tried harder, but because her body was finally ready. She laughed, realizing progress didn't always look like progress. What surprised me most wasn't just how a smart fitness tracker improved my experience with HRV training, but how everything started to feel different once I switched to measuring what actually mattered. I wasn't expecting such a clear change, and honestly, I tested it more than a few times before I figured out what really worked. This isn't a promotion, just sharing real results that made a noticeable difference for me. I'll leave the link below if you want to explore what I mean. By week 2, patterns emerged she'd never noticed before. Her HRV tanked after late-night scrolling. Even on nights she felt fine. It dropped after arguments, after skipped meals, after back-to-back meetings that left her wired but exhausted. Her body wasn't just tracking workouts, it was tracking her life. One morning she woke to her lowest reading yet. No explanation, no late night, no extra stress, just a quiet warning from her nervous system. She thought she was done, until that moment. Instead of panicking, she adjusted. Yoga instead of sprints. Breathing exercises instead of heavy lifts. That afternoon, she felt clear-headed for the first time in days. Turns out, she'd been fighting off a cold her immune system hadn't announced yet. 2 days later, the symptoms arrived, but milder than usual, shorter than expected. Her body had given her a head start, and she'd finally listened. Neuroscientists call this interoception, the ability to sense what's happening inside your body. Most of us are terrible at it. We override fatigue, ignore hunger, numb discomfort, and wonder why we burn out. HRV training doesn't teach you to ignore your body. It teaches you to hear it again. By week 3, she stopped checking her phone mid-workout, stopped comparing her pace to last month's, stopped chasing versions of herself that didn't exist yet. Sometimes we only understand strength when it's tested. There was still one thing she couldn't explain. Her sleep improved, not from new routines or supplements, just from trusting rest when her body asked for it. Her HRV climbed steadily night after night, as her nervous system finally felt safe enough to relax. She'd spent years thinking recovery was what happened between efforts. Now she understood. Recovery was the effort. On day 27, she hit a personal record. Not because she trained harder, but because she trained smarter. Her body had been ready for weeks. She just hadn't been listening. Part of her wished she'd started sooner, but maybe she needed those years of pushing to appreciate the power of pause. Maybe we all do. Research from the Journal of Sports Science supports what she felt. Athletes who train based on HRV show better performance gains, fewer injuries, and lower burnout rates than those following rigid programs. It's not about working less, it's about working in rhythm. By day 30, her relationship with fitness had transformed. Workouts felt like conversations instead of battles. Rest felt like strategy instead of failure. When she looked in the mirror again, it wasn't her reflection that had changed. It was what she believed about herself. She wasn't weak for needing rest. She was intelligent for honoring it. She wasn't falling behind. She was finally moving forward. The data didn't make her robotic. It made her human again. HRV training isn't magic. It's just honesty. Your body already knows what it needs. The numbers just help translate the message. For 30 days, she stopped guessing and started listening. And somewhere between the failures and the quiet mornings, she found rhythm and peace. This isn't medical advice, it's an invitation to pay attention, to trust that your body speaks a language worth learning. Whether you're training for performance or just trying to feel better in your own skin, HRV might be the conversation you've been avoiding. Tell us what part of this story resonated most and where you're watching from. See you in the next video. Bye.